was the event that you guys just came back from this last weekend?
That was the Indy half mile, Marion, Indiana, with Shift Sector. Great people, Jason and the guys, they put on an awesome event. There was like 165 total cars there or something like that. First time we've actually started this year going out of state. Most of our events have been Texas, TX2K, LS Fest for our LS applications, but this was the first time for this car. Kansas was the first time with Shift Sector, and then we went to this one because we found out Stacy was in first place. And so it was like, okay, well, we got to maintain, at least finish the season. So we kept getting a little faster. We went to Kansas, and we were a little slower, but the DA over there kind of sucks, and then we found out it was kind of an uphill.
Oh, the track's uphill.
The back part of it is uphill, and it was like, okay, we need more power. We got to just make this more reliable. We were running a blend of 109 and pump 93 just for safety, not so much for power, just repetitive results. Then it was like I had all these parts sitting here. It's time to start turning it up. We wanted to be able to truly get our air fuel right. With Mustangs, we can't flex. It tries to use the logic, and the logic isn't exactly a great science. It uses the wide bands, and I'm just not a fan of that on the GM stuff, and I'm not a fan of it on the Ford stuff. I've had them get stuck if the battery dies or whatnot. Reached out to Advanced Fuel Dynamics, and overall, it was a very easy install. You got 30 pounds of crap in a 2-pound bag, so it's like, where do you put it? After it was all installed, you can't even tell it's there unless we point it out.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it did everything it said it was going to do. Stacy made 83 passes, set a 3-day record. She's got the 2-day record in Kansas, which set it for all the rest of the tracks. It was 62 passes. And then now she's got the 83 passes Indy, which was a 3-day event. And it did 175 miles on E85 with Advanced Fuel Dynamics. None of those passes were slower than 165 miles an hour. Every single one of those passes was 165 plus. The fastest passes she did were with a passenger. It was 171 with a passenger. Typically, the stock cars, like off the showroom floor, unmodified or slight bolt-on cars, you'll see them make 15, 20 passes, no big deal. We met up with another Mustang shop, and they're a pretty big name, and they're really awesome folks, really awesome people. They had some really fast GT500s, and he came up to me, he's like, I gotta meet these people because our Mustangs can't do that. Our Shelbys can't do 80 passes, 50 passes, 40 passes, because they're 1,000 horsepower plus, and they're in the upper 170s, 180 mile an hour passes. Very respectful numbers. And they were repeatable, but they probably made 5 or 6 passes per car per day. And this one was making no less than 20 a day. She'd come in, we'd check fuel, check the methanol, check the ice tank, throw a bag of ice in it. It got slower with ice. And I was like, this doesn't make any logical sense. So I threw a laptop in there. I'm like, sure enough, it's slower with ice. And the hotter it got, the better it ran. I was like, okay, this really doesn't make sense. I bet there's some adders or subtractors or something in the tune that I need to play with. But for the most part, it was very consistent. And we got a lot of praise from a lot of people saying, holy crap, that car's consistent. They need to start a bracket. So if they started a bracket, we got it. Thanks to VMP, we did the intercooler lid, the heat exchange, with the race core, upper 2.6 pulley, just minor bolt-ons, nothing crazy. American Racing 2-inch exhaust with their full-length exhaust, long system. And then I tuned it, of course, but we started running into some issues with like torque management and stuff, and then we found out that we talked about in the last video, and it was random, and it's still random because the stock throttle body is still on this car. In the higher RPMs, and I could see it out there on the track, it would just randomly pull the throttle body. It's trying to pull so much air that motor's not strong enough to do it. It's like trying to suck a golf ball through a straw. We're upgrading the throttle body right now. We're just in the process of waiting on it. We're going to 108. It's still an imported blower. Some of the PPF had some minor blemishes and scratches and stuff like that, so we dropped it off at Bespoke in Austin. When we got back from Indiana, it had like 1/8 of a tank of E85 in it. Stacy went to go pick it up yesterday, or the day before yesterday. She was like, what do I put in it? I said, put whatever you want in it. She filled it up with the 85 and drove it back, no problem. Yeah, she could have just thrown 93 in it, but she texted me, she's like, what do I put in it? I said, it didn't matter the content, it absolutely made the adjustment. I've got no codes, no blemishes, no weird blips, no weird hiccups. I have literally drilled no holes in this car. There are no holes. We've used existing rev nuts, we've used existing bolt holes, grommets and things like that, where you just pop a little grommet out, and completely done that. Even the VMP ice tank, we drilled no holes in this car. There's no downside. This car just does it. And I don't know, I'm a GM guy.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm starting to scratch the surface on this thing. We've had it since it had 2 miles on it. And we've just documented the steps along the way. This car could make 1,000 to the tire all day long. It makes about 850, only because I'm limited by the throttle body. It should be somewhere in the north, right around 900, 920-ish, something to get us above the 175 mark. This car has run 174 in Honda before the modifications. So we know that was before the upper pulley, before the race core. All it had was an ice tank and the headers and a cold air. That's it. But it did not have the upper pulley, the Apex Predator lid, and the race core. And now it's got, of course, ID 1300s. Thanks to Deechworks. Deechworks set up a nice pump system. It's a drop-in hat. Still utilizes the bucket, and so it's still, the pumps still sit in fuel, so they're not getting hot, and it still uses the siphon, so the Venturi siphon. So we didn't sacrifice anything. There was no cutting in it, no nothing. For a simple, I mean, anybody in their own garage can do the stuff that we did. It's very simple. It's a simple recipe. It's repeatable, and with advanced fuel dynamics, E85 Flex makes it so much easier. It takes out all the guesswork. There's a lot of myths out there about E85. As long as your fuel system is sealed and you don't have any way for oxygen or other things to get into your fuel system, E85 is perfectly safe. We're going to continue to do the shift sector stuff. Really great event. If you guys haven't done it, get into it. Wonderful people, awesome event. Safety is awesome. The help is there if you need it or want it, or you want to network with other shops. The next one is in Abilene, October 18th and 19th. We're taking 11 cars, including customer cars. Wow. This car will be there. We've got 1, 2, 3 4-digit Camaros going. They make 1,100 plus horsepower, and they're going. All three of those are going. We got another white GT500 going, a couple C6 Z06s, and a bunch of our other customers and friends and family that are going to meet us there. So we'll have a bunch of big tents and a big party there. So it's going to be a great time. So we're going to continue to do that, and we're probably going to do it again next year, the season. Really, the half-mile events is what we tend to do more of because you're less likely to break, and we get good data. We try to make every single one of these builds, like even these 1,000 horsepower cars, we're trying to make every single one of those builds. I want 20 passes out of that one. I want 20 passes out of that one. I want 20. They better do 45 passes in a weekend, and we got to have it repeatable. If it's not repeatable, I'm not going to sell it to my customer. If it's a one-hit wonder, that doesn't do you any good. You're not winning races if it does it one time. And every single one of those cars has advanced fuel dynamics, E-Flex, E-Sense, and not so much the Commander because they're GM cars, but it has the FlexLink. Yeah. So that way they can monitor their content. And so if we need a higher content because we had some pump gas lingering in the bottom of it, we take X98 and it's a good spiking fuel, we'll spike it up to 80%. But that's pretty much what we do. And they can monitor all that stuff without having to have an extra E85 gauge or hook HP tuners up to it and then take time, and it's a real big pain. They can look at the app on their phone and boom, this is my content, this is my fuel temperature, which is way more important than just the content. You need to see the temperature. If you're just sitting there boiling your fuel system is inefficient. You need to fix something. Your pumps are getting hot. So your pump's gonna fail. It's not if, it's when. It's another safety that you guys threw in there, and it's awesome. It's great. GM doesn't have that fourth wire on there, so we can't see the temperature of the fuel. And then to top that off, the fact that it's -10, we put them on the feed side. We're not on the return side. We don't have to worry about its refresh rate, how much fuel we're throwing through it, and all that other stuff, and watch that number go up and down. We're not having to worry about a restriction. We're not having to get sensors stuck. I think everybody should do it. Everybody should jump on this wagon. I wish I could say I was the first one. I was kind of skeptical at first, but I did a lot of research, and I watched Ryan, and looked at the product, saw it in my hands, saw he had it on his personal stuff, and he's been running it for years. It's awesome to see this amount of work and R&D go into a product. And we do the same thing here. Somebody says they've got something that's the latest, greatest, whatever, bring it to me, I'll put it on. It's like, bring it to me. I've had 7, 8 different cams in our R&D C6 Z06, take it to the track, find out if it's better or not. I've taken them out and they're still hot. They're like, nope, I was 2 seconds slower, I was a second slower, whatever. Get that cam out of there. Cylinder heads, I've had 8 different sets of cylinder heads on that car with different cams. And off on. The block has still not been out of the car. Still the same stock block, 60,000 miles of R&D. But that car helped make our NA program. So 427 stuff, that's our babies. Build our own turbo stuff here, and then being able to use your eSense sensor on that stuff and not having to restrict one side or the other down to a 3/8 line for a foot.
It's way smaller.
It sucks. Even putting it on the return side, is it safe? It's safer. I've made 1,200, but it's not ideal. I mean, if I got a dash 8 feed there and a dash 8 feed here, or a dash 10 here and a dash 8 there, why am I restricting it down to a 3/8 line somewhere?
Yeah.
Why did I even put that line in if I'm just gonna shrink it down anyway? It was really fun. It was really fun to see Stacy come back from running a couple of those Lambos, and she sent them to Gapplebee's. It was funny. It was funny.